Hey everyone, welcome to Youth Night Live. My name is Saquon.
And I'm Victor.
And we are super excited that you have decided to join us tonight. We know the services have been a little different, right, the last couple of weeks.
Change is good, though.
But change is good, yeah. And our hope is that we don't have to do this for that much longer, and that soon enough, we can be in person. I think we've been in quarantine for like 90 odd, almost 100 days.
I think I've lost track. I'm just like, in a cave,
Help.
kind of clawing away at a rock and kind of keeping tally.
Yeah, so it's been a challenge. I think it's been like a month now since we've done our hot seat challenge. If you haven't seen that video yet, make sure you go check it out.
My wife laughs every time she watches it, and my mom calls me to remind me that my mouth is burning.
It's been a month. Look, there's no little tingle at the end.
It still hasn't made its way through my intestines, but it's all right.
Well, hey, we have a fun night planned for you all. Remember, these services, man, these are like super short, bite-sized services that we hope that you can enjoy, that you'd be able to share with a friend, and that we know you have a lot of other things that you could be doing, but that you would take the 25, 30 minutes at the most
30,
hang out with us.
That's like an episode of whatever you watch on Netflix.
Yeah, Parks and Rec,
Right.
Community.
Cowboy Bebop for me.
Yeah. And if you have no ads, then your shows become even shorter.
That's very true.
So,
like 22 to 25 minutes.
Well, hey, we have a fun game that we want you to check out, so here it is.
Welcome to the Newlywed Game, where we ask lovely questions to our contestants here.
Hello.
Can you please give your name?
My name is Saquon Sekiwap Grande.
Sekiwap.
Some call me Seki, Sekwini, Sekwinner, Sekwin. But others call me Houdini Sekwini.
But if you watch the Hot Sauce Challenge, we call him Sakrying.
I'm Marissa, and we've been married for almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years
July 27th, 2017 is our
in a
anniversary.
month.
That was one question down here.
So I don't know if we're newlyweds, but
New enough.
I'd say we are.
New enough. That's awesome. Thanks for coming, guys. So
Thanks.
we're gonna ask them a few questions, kind of get to know them a little further. Some of you guys know Saquon, some of you guys know Marissa. We just want to dive a little deeper, and maybe even dissect some of the relationship and who knows who. No, I'm just joking. Let's not get too crazy. But so we're gonna have one of our contestants step out for a second, and then we're gonna ask a couple questions. And we're gonna have Saquon lead first, and then Marissa's gonna answer the questions, and Saquon, and then we're gonna have Saquon come back and see what if we can match up what they both think each other do or say or their quirks. Right on.
Luck.
Thanks. I'll miss you.
Right on. Ready, Marissa?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's see. What's Saquon's weirdest quirk?
His weirdest quirk?
Yeah, his weirdest quirk.
His weirdest quirk is that he sings all the time. He's always humming. So I'll write that down so I remember.
All right. And then,
Really loudly, too.
so, who's the tidiest?
Oh, me for sure. Yeah.
What is Saquon's worst habit?
That goes along with the tidying thing. He
Getting the dirt,
it's a
baby!
typical man thing, but it's so true. He never, I shouldn't say never. That's not good marriage communication. He oftentimes leaves his dirty clothes on the floor when our hamper is like 2 feet away. So I'll just say not picking up his socks.
I have to remember, it drives me nuts. I leave my socks all over the place.
Yeah, just like put them away.
Yeah, especially after a nice hot day in an attic. Oof.
You're not gonna wear them again. Just put them in laundry.
Anywho, let's continue. This is a good one. What is Saquon's favorite pizza topping?
His favorite pizza topping is pepperoni. I don't know how to spell that, but that's close enough. Pepperoni and bacon. So.
That's a good combo.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. I got a little host of questions here, guys. So I just want to make sure I ask the right ones. Inquiring minds really want to know. Let's see. Oh boy, how does Saquon like his eggs cooked?
That's a trick question. He doesn't like eggs. No eggs for Saquon because he might tell you the story, but I'll tell you, he threw them up when he was in Little League one time, so he just never again can have them. So
Camille my wife had a similar thing with shrimp.
yeah,
She since I started dating her would never eat shrimp up until recently. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. Saquon, what is your weirdest quirk? You have to write that one down.
Yeah, I think it's the we're gonna reveal these at the end. I think it's I sing all the time. That's what I'm going with. I sing all the time. I just really like singing, like a song pops in your head. It could be from like 2009, like Kick Push or something. You gotta you have to not. You can't just not sing it.
Let it go.
You gotta sing it. Kick Push,
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Go first. What else you got for me?
I think this is the second one I asked. Was who is the tidiest?
Oh, Marissa's more tidy. I'm really logical though, so I mean, tidy is subjective, like tidy about what? Tidy with what,
All right.
Sometimes I feel like I'm cleaning up messes because she's asked me to. Messes
I
that
have to
she's
clarify.
made.
There's a difference between like dirty and then like tidy. So Saquon's not dirty. He's not like.
Yeah, you hear that?
He's not like leaving. He doesn't leave just like he's not like a messy, like unsanitary dirty.
Yeah.
But tidy, no, he's not tidy.
Okay.
Yawn.
Yeah.
Next.
What would you say is your worst habit?
The worst habit?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's like
You got so many, folks.
well, it's like what do you classify as a habit? She's not a huge fan of me playing a lot of video games. I don't know if she's. I don't know. I feel like she might not have wrote something like that though.
Mm-hmm.
She might have wrote something like I bite my tongue sometimes.
Yeah.
I
do that sometimes. I'm thinking about hard. Yeah.
I left like my socks on the ground. Or my shoes didn't get racked.
Yeah.
Or sometimes
Racks, baby. Racks on racks.
She doesn't like when like wires get left. Like I'm like charging my phone or something, and the wire and like serious, it's plugged into the wall, like the cube is, and then she takes it and rolls it up because she didn't like it in the wall anymore because it's not being used. So I'm like,
You're making me sound like a freak.
so I'm like habit. What? I'm gonna go
Just pick one.
habit.
Pick the one I would say.
I'll go with socks on the ground here.
So we asked Marissa, what is your favorite pizza topping?
Favorite pizza topping?
Yeah.
I think it's bacon. That's what I'm going with. Pizza with bacon on it is always better.
Pizza with bacon on it. Why bacon?
It's smoky and it tastes good. And I also feel like it's not like something that you have all the time. And I feel like that's the things I like. Like oatmeal raisin cookies, they're never at parties, but I love them. Bacon pizza, nobody orders bacon pizza, but when they do, it's all mine.
And the last one, I think more than sure you know the answer to this one. How do you like your eggs?
I like my eggs sunny side up, thrown in the trash. I don't like them.
Well, the side of bile, people. The side of bile.
I don't
He likes them non-existent.
like
That's how it is.
them. That's where I'm going. All right,
Right on.
I'm ready.
So, I mean, we reveal, right?
Yeah, I'm ready
Alright,
for
ready?
the reveal. 1, 2, and 3. Let's go right there. Let's let them see those answers.
Yeah, always singing. Right on. Who's the tidiest? Marissa. Me. Yeah, right on. Socks on the ground. Marissa's not picking up. Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll give him that one.
Hey,
We'll
give me
him
that.
one. And then pepperoni. She put pepperoni and bacon. You
Okay.
put bacon.
I didn't know if I could put 2 toppings.
And we'll live with that.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks. Let's see. No eggs for you. Yeah, she put no eggs.
Sunny side up, thrown in the trash.
Thrown in the trash.
Ah,
Man,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
let's go.
We've been married for 3 years, but we dated for 4 years before that. So
Been a long time.
altogether, almost 7.
And my wife and I are celebrating 6. I probably can answer half of that. So.
All right, do I leave now?
Yes,
You need to get out of here. I
yes.
gotta spend some quality time with Victor.
Yeah, like we don't. Oh, this one's embarrassing. I got one for you. So the first one is we're gonna go with Who would most likely deal with the spider?
Spider. Oh, me, hands down. She came. The other day we had. I'm not kidding. A ladybug. Ladybug in our
Harmless.
And
They,
you're like,
they
oh,
eat aphids, which
what
keep
are
the
we
plants
doing with a
clean.
ladybug? Oh, can you kill him? I was like, first off, that's not unlucky. But second off, you can just get a paper towel, go get that ladybug. You do. I don't know what you do with that. If you want to send it to heaven, like that's fine. You want to leave it, let it go outside, that's fine. But no, I had to get up and go get the ladybug. So spider. Oh my gosh. She's not doing ladybug.
Let's see.
She's not doing spider. Big facts.
Big facts, folks. You heard it here. Heard it first.
First time. Never heard that before.
Let's see. What's the first movie you guys saw together?
Yes, it's called The Spectacular Now.
Spectacular Now.
It's one of my all-time favorites. I wanted to see it for a while before I went to Biola, like in that summertime. I just couldn't see it, and then we got to go see it because she thought that I liked her, and I didn't like her. I thought we were just hanging out and being friends for like a couple days, and then she felt bad, so we went to the movies. And I made sure that we paid separately for the tickets because I didn't like her
Keep
yet.
in touch, baby.
And then I made her pay for In-N-Out afterwards. But yeah, The Spectacular Now.
Good man.
Still one of my favorite movies. Because she was like, oh, I don't want to lead you on. I was like, lead me on to what? What we led on to? What are we doing?
We're just hanging out.
Yeah. And then obviously we got married. So
Let's see. Who has the worst handwriting?
ugh, me, I can't write. That's all you got to know.
Damn.
Just so bad. I don't know. I feel like I write like a child. Especially on whiteboard, like, oh my god. And like, I don't always think about like, I don't even know how they like, teachers especially, they like write like directly on the board. But like, my hand is like always touching it. And it's like,
erasing it.
I'm erasing it. I'm like, what is pointless? I need a computer. Give me Google Docs.
Come on now. All right. So, what is their most prized possession? Her most prized possession, or the item that they would save if there was a fire, apart from you.
She ain't saving me. Ah, just kidding. Her most prized possession? Gosh, that's a tough one. I don't even feel like she likes things in terms of like
Materials.
Like, yeah, I don't know. She keeps talking about a wedding book that we don't have. We have like all of our pictures on Facebook. And so they're not like printed in a book. She's been talking about that. So if we had one of those, I think that would be it. We don't have one. So
Yeah.
I'm like, gosh, I don't know.
That's it, folks. Let's start a GoFundMe page for Sikwin, and get him a wedding.
Get me a wedding, but my birthday's in a month. I gotta hurt.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, there you go.
Gosh, you know what? I'm gonna.
You want me to ask another question?
No. I'm gonna go. We have this. There's this scrapbook,
Mm-hmm.
and this scrapbook has like our whole first 2 years of dating and the things that we did, one thing each month. So I saved ticket stubs, receipts to restaurants,
Yeah.
a little flower, and it has like a picture of what we were doing.
Dude,
I
that
feel
make
like
me sick.
that would be
Yeah.
the thing. I'd be surprised if she gets that though. I don't know. We'll see.
Right on. Let's see it.
Scrapbook it is 5.
And then
Yeah.
last one. If Marissa wins the lotto, how would she spend it?
New shoes! Bring your boy!
Just get a revolving
wins
shoe
the
rack.
lottery, I think there's two things. One would be Carly Jean clothes.
Carly Jean. I don't know who that is.
Me neither. But shows up on the Bank of America, right?
Shows up on the boa.
So, it's okay. Carly, you don't know who this Carly Jean is. She must be nice. Give her $65.
God.
Number 2, I think it's one. I think it would be a house, like a house.
Okay.
Our closet's really small, and she doesn't like how small our closet is. So I think a house with a bigger closet doesn't need to be anything.
Half
like
the
that,
house
but
would be the closet. Is the whole thing. No.
just a bigger closet.
Yeah. Right
So
on.
if that was the thing you could buy, which you can't buy, she would buy that. But I think just a house. I'm going house. Carly Jean and house.
And also buy Saquon some Nike mags
Come on,
with the automatic tie.
go fund me. Start it.
Anywho, all right, let's bring her in. Ask Saquon another 5 questions.
Mhm.
And here we had, the first one was, who would likely deal with the spider? Who's most likely to deal with the spider?
Saquon for sure.
Right on.
Yeah.
Saquon.
Why is
For the
that?
win.
Because I just don't like it. I'm afraid.
You don't like what?
Spiders or any kind of insects.
What about ladybugs?
Oh my god. I can deal with a ladybug, but if he's right there, I mean, I'll ask him to do
You
that.
heard it here first, folks.
My worst fear is like I just don't want it to get on my face, you know? Like I just have some bad memories, but
You should grow a beard, that way it protects you from the bugs.
Right.
You know?
when we go to summer camp and I go with the junior high girls, like I'm always killing the wasps and the things. Like if I have to, I'll do it.
I know.
Bear Valley.
If I
Trying to
have
mess
to, I'll
with
do it.
Don't
If I
worry.
have to.
You mean swinging hellbats and things. All right, so let's see, what was the next one? The next one was what? I can't find it.
Movie.
Yeah, movie. Oh, there we go. There's the list. What is the first movie you guys saw together?
The Spectacular Now.
Dang, you guys make me look bad, yo.
Okay, it's gonna fit the first
Couldn't even guess what. Camille, do we even go watch movies? I don't know.
What's a movie?
Yeah, what's a movie? Let's see. What is your most prized possession? If the house was on fire, what would you run back in there?
That's a really good question. My most prized possession? Man, I think... Ugh. Okay, so we don't have anything like that sentimental yet because we're not...
There you go. They're not
we
material
haven't
folks,
been
guys.
married for a long time. Like all of our wedding photos are on like the cloud. So
The cloud.
yeah, which is really good. So we don't even have like a photo album or anything that we like really treasure. So I honestly would go back for my laptop because that was really expensive.
Alright. Cool.
I think this next one's about my handwriting.
Okay,
yeah. So who has a better handwriting?
me because I'm a teacher.
Right on. And then, if you win the lotto, how would you spend it?
Oof, I can only pick one thing. Or like a series of events.
Just want to answer a few things. So,
Okay,
so
well,
go ahead
the
and...
first thing that I would buy would be. I think we would move into a bigger house. Wait, it's me though. Not you. Okay. I think we would buy a
We
house
said a few things, like I said.
for sure, and then I would want to buy. I'd want to go shopping for myself.
Where from?
Is there a particular brand or any kind of...
No, maybe. Did you say Carly Jean? Probably. You probably did.
Who's
But I was
Carly?
telling you.
I'm not married yet.
And
We're
then,
good friends.
honestly, after that, I think, well, I want to buy Saquon a new car because I have a new car, but he needs a new car. So,
Saturday night, I'm kicking though.
Saturn, baby!
that's
Out this
honestly-
world of Saturn. Oh, sorry.
I think we'd be content after that. Don't show me your answers.
This is the last one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I went them out of order, but please forgive me.
It's
Okay.
really not a big deal. I'm
No.
not worried about it.
Is that it?
Let's see the answers, folks.
So this one, I wrote Saquon.
Saquon
because
will
I
handle
think
the
the
bug.
question was, I would have worse handwriting, and so you wrote that you would have better handwriting.
Oh, did I answer it wrong?
No, I think we
Oh,
got
okay.
mixed up.
Okay.
But yeah, I would kill the bug for sure.
Yeah. And spectacular.
Spectacular now. Great movie. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
I would go back for you.
No, I got the title upside down.
I
Okay.
wrote up that scrapbook that's got like our first 2 years of dating.
Oh, we do
and
have
it's
a scrapbook. I'm sorry, but technically though, that's in the garage. That's not in the house.
The whole building burns down. You only got time to pick one thing.
Okay.
I'm getting the scrapbook.
I'm
You take your
sorry.
laptop, whatever.
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, how is she gonna access the cloud, bro? So yeah, you're good.
We're on Facebook.
Did he tell you that for the first 12 months of dating, he wrote me a note for every month?
I'm about to throw up.
That's really that's what we have in the shoebox.
Dang.
So
Oh, we have that shoebox too. That's
Hold
all
the
that's
note.
Hold on. I'd
Hold the
rather.
note.
Can you bring the bomb back? I'd rather deal with that than hear that comment. Oh no!
that's how he won me over. Gentlemen, take some notes.
Conclusion that we rocked this.
I think they did mediocre at best, but
More about Remember, guys, don't say always or never. Write your significant other notes.
And do expect the romance to kind of drop a little when you get married, but you still love each other.
Also, just talk less. 'Cause sometimes you just say stuff you shouldn't say. And if you
That
just
is very true
and you just
for
like
guys.
shut up for just a little, then like you'd be good, you know.
Yeah, it's the 80-20 rule, guys. Remember, fellas, just 80% talking. No, I'm just joking. 80% listening, 20% talking.
That's all. That's
Awesome.
all I got.
Thanks, guys. Till next time.
Hey, it's Landon. That was a really fun game. We learned a lot about Saquon and Marissa. Now let's go on to the message.
Hi friends, my name is Adriana. Don't like coffee, don't like tea. I'm not a real grown-up, but this morning it's not even 9 o'clock yet and I already have myself a milkshake, so come at me. Have you ever spoken up about something and it ended up being totally awkward or hurtful or embarrassing? I mean, you didn't mean any harm, but the way the words just came like spilling out of your mouth, just like just ended up doing more harm than good. I mean, I think we can all say we've been there, right? I know I have. So when we were younger, my little sister started making a bunch of really unhealthy, unwise, kind of stupid decisions. I mean, she was skipping school a lot, she was hanging out with people who didn't really know what was best for her, and she was doing all kinds of things that could cause her pain further down the road. Now, I didn't know when or how to speak up to her because she was my sister. She knew me better than anybody, and she knew all the ways that I had messed up. And I was just so afraid that she would turn around and say, no, you are not perfect, you do not get to tell me what to do. So when I finally did confront her, it was in this moment of just like, oh, I was so frustrated with her. And instead of talking to her with love and compassion, I just spoke out of my own hurt. And my words didn't make her realize that she was making bad decisions. I mean, I didn't stop to make sure that my words were full of love and concern, and so all they did was make her feel ashamed and awkward. And in that moment, it was like speaking up just made the situation way worse. Now, if you've been there, and you know how this feels, right? I mean, just like, of course, you didn't have these bad intentions when you said those things. I mean, we were just sharing our opinion, right? We're just being open and honest. But when that opinion causes awkwardness or embarrassment or even hurt, it can make us wonder if it was ever a good idea to speak up in the first place. Now, as bad as those awkward moments can be, I think they're probably not even the moments that we fear the most about speaking up. I think most often, the place that a lot of us run into this fear of sharing our opinions is actually with our friends. Now, maybe you're like, whoa, Adriana, pause. I can talk to my friends about anything. Well, that's because I'm not talking about the everyday easy stuff you share with your friends, like who your favorite singer is, or what your favorite Disney movie is, or what gross stuff you like putting on your pizza, like Oreos or hamster food. I don't know. I'm talking about the hard stuff, the difficult stuff, the stuff that makes speaking up or speaking out really complicated. Now, think about the last time you saw a friend making a bad choice. Maybe they were hanging out with the wrong crowd, a group of people who were really influencing them to make not so great decisions. Or maybe they were dating someone who was pressuring them to do something that they shouldn't, and your friend was slowly giving in. Now, maybe they were disobeying or disrespecting their parents. They were lying and arguing and getting super angry all of the time at home. Maybe you saw them stop caring about school or homework or about showing up to class. Maybe you knew they were watching shows they weren't supposed to, or sneaking around the parental controls on the internet, or posting inappropriate content on secret social media accounts. We've all been there too, right? I mean, we've all had a friend do something or be on the verge of doing something that we know is really not gonna be good for them. And when that happens, if you're anything like me, you probably wanna say something. You feel like you should speak up, but you aren't sure what to say or how to say it, or if you should say anything at all. It's times like these when we start to make excuses for ourselves. We tell ourselves things like, you know what my friends are doing is no big deal. Other times we tell ourselves, if I speak up, I might make my friend mad or even ruin our friendship, so I'm just not gonna say anything at all. Sometimes we don't speak up to a friend because we think, what can I even say to this person? I mean, I have done the exact same thing. Who would even listen to me if I spoke up about this? Another excuse we might tell ourselves is, that is really, really, really none of my business. I mean, if it has nothing to do with you and it doesn't affect you, can you actually say anything about it? Maybe you've convinced yourself not to speak up to a friend because you thought, I don't think they're gonna listen anyway. So speaking up is it's not even gonna make a difference. Or maybe you didn't speak up honestly to a friend because you know that you're not supposed to gossip and it kind of felt like gossip. And even if you just brought it up to them, wasn't that doing the whole like unwholesome talk thing that you're not supposed to do, but you were doing it and what are you gonna do? Another excuse you may have heard for not speaking up to a friend is because you thought, I already told them what I think. Do I really need to tell them again and again and again? You are not alone in those feelings. We've all been in situations where we knew we should speak up, but we made excuses for why we didn't. While I think it's normal to feel that way, we're gonna learn today why that's probably not the best choice we can make. Now, let me pause here and say that I know this isn't the case for all of us. I mean, some of you have zero problem speaking up and making your voice heard. You aren't at all shy about telling your friends what you think about whether or not K-pop is the best pop, or if Baby Yoda is kind of cute but also a little bit ugly. Now, don't check out here, because trust me, this is for you too. When it comes to speaking up in situations like these, we all have hang-ups. Now, maybe for you, speaking up is a struggle and you constantly question if it's worth the risk. Or maybe speaking up comes easily, but you don't always offer your opinion in, let's say, the nicest way. Either way, there has to be a better way to speak up and share our opinions when we think they are gonna be helpful to someone that we care about, right? So this question of how to find the best way to speak up isn't a new one. About 2,000 years ago, a guy named Paul wrote a letter to a church in a place called Galatia. Now, part of that letter addressed this very issue. Paul wrote this letter because he cared about the believers in that church so much, and he knew they were just trying to figure out how to live in the best way. But honestly, y'all, they were struggling, because sometimes knowing how to live in the best way can be confusing, and that's why Paul put pen to paper to help his friends out. So let's take a look at some of what he wrote. Dear brothers and sisters, if another believer is overcome by some sin, you who are godly should gently and humbly help that person back onto the right path. Now, even though Paul addressed this passage to people who lived a long time ago, I think we can all learn something from this. It doesn't matter if you grew up in the church or if this is your first time here, this can apply to all of us. Paul addressed this passage to fellow Christian believers because they were his friends. He cared about them. He cared about what happened to them. And because of that, he didn't want them to make choices that hurt themselves and hurt others. I think we can all relate to that feeling, right? I mean, when we care about someone else, we want what's best for them. We don't want them to hurt themselves or to hurt others, and sometimes that means we have to speak up when we see them heading in that direction. So, what did Paul say we should do? Well, according to this verse, when we see friends who are struggling with things that might hurt them, or they're moving down a path that's gonna lead them to something harmful, it's important that we do what we can to help them get back on the right path. A lot of times, that includes speaking up. Now, I get that this is super hard for a lot of us. I mean, like we said earlier, there are so many reasons not to say something that we know our friends don't necessarily want to hear. We're afraid it's gonna hurt their feelings or upset them or damage the relationship. But I think in situations where our friends are walking towards something that could be really bad news for their lives and for their futures, we have to care more about the person than about the relationship. We have to care enough about our friend that we are willing to speak up, even if it means that our friendship is a little bruised in the process. All right, to start, let's just try this. Put yourself in their shoes. Now, if you were the one who was walking a path that everybody else saw was gonna potentially be really bad news for you, would you want someone to tell you? Would you want a friend to stop you or help you or point out that what they saw had the potential to hurt you? Would you want them to have the courage to have a difficult conversation with you? I know I would. Well, when you see a friend in that same place, you have the chance to be that person for them. You have the opportunity to speak up and help them move back towards the right path. Now, Like we said, there are some of you who are like, I am not afraid to speak up. I even kind of like telling people they're wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you are super wrong. Well, look back at the verse again. Paul didn't just tell us to help our friends get back on the right path. He told us how we're supposed to do it, with gentleness and humility. It is not just about what you say, it's about how you say it. You need to speak the truth, but you need to do it in the right way and with the right heart. Paul says to gently and humbly help the friends you see struggling down the wrong path. That means speaking with kindness and with love and with encouragement instead of anger and frustration and judgment. It means caring more about the person you're speaking to than the fact that you're right. So speak up, but do it with kindness. Be helpful and encouraging and loving. In other words, use kindness and love when you speak up. Now, when we approach tough conversations with love and kindness, it will change both what we say and how we say it. We'll speak up because we love others and we want what's best for them, and we'll do it in love, using words that encourage and rebuild and help our friends get back on the right path. Remember, use kindness and love when you speak up. So the next time you find yourself in a situation where you think you might need to speak up, I want you to ask yourself a couple of things. 1, what does it look like to love my friend and show kindness in the situation? Maybe it's in the way you talk to them about it, the actual words that you use to have that conversation. And maybe it's in using a gentle tone over a harsh one. Maybe it's choosing to talk about it only with that friend instead of with a bunch of other people. And maybe it's simply agreeing to pray for them or offer them continued encouragement when you see them making good choices, or reminding them that you love them no matter what. And maybe it's not saying anything until you can figure out how to say it in a gentle and humble way. Whatever it is, before you speak, consider what it would look like to show the other person love in that conversation. 2, what would I want? Put yourself in their shoes. If this was you, would you want someone to talk to you about the issue? How would you want them to talk to you when they did? In other words, how would you want someone to show you love and kindness in this conversation? Think about that and try to do the same for the friends around you who need your love in the same way. So this week, keep this in mind. Use kindness and love when you speak up. And as you head out, think about this. What's one thing that keeps me from speaking up or speaking out in love? And cut.
What a great message we just watched. Now, let's get ready for pizza time with Victor.
Welcome. This is Pizza Time with Victor Hernandez, our favorite time of the year. And I just want to remind you guys, don't be in a bro. I really appreciate that. Let's get started. Let's see who's gonna win the pizza, baby. Survey says Daniel Everest. My man, you got a sweet pizza coming your way. We'll hit you up and we'll get some info and we'll get you taken care of, all right?